This week I reviewed Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. This movie had a lot of good parts and a couple parts that kind of threw it off. Generally, I really liked the movie, but there were some parts that just really slowed it down in the middle that they could have just taken out. There was a lot of great action scenes with all the wands and the magic, and overall this movie was the second strongest out of all the Harry Potter movies. There was a lot of scenes that the whole movie could have done without in the middle, because it was just them hiding out. It seemed like it was gonna a lot of action, then really slow again, and then a lot of action. Like the whole movie was like that. I think this movie did a really good job with keeping with the book, because most of them totally screw up everything, but I think this one was one of the best compared to the books. I liked all the inside references from the books that a lot of people might not have gotten if they haven't read the books. There was a lot of stuff that you would have to know from the previous movies or books to even know from this movie. If you haven't seen any of the movies or read any of the books, this whole movie wouldn't make sense to you, so don't see it if you haven't read or seen the previous movies. In this movie they try to condense this whole book into 2 movies, which they did a good job, but a lot of the slow parts are in the first half. So I think the second half is going to be much better, but they did do a good job with the first half. I was glad with the music they chose. Instead of having just the same old music in all the other movies, I think it was good. I wasn't really sure how they were going to end this movie because of the Part 1 and Part 2 thing, so the end kind of left me like, really, that was it? But if you think about it, they had to end it somewhere, so I understand that. I think the second part is going to be a lot more interesting and better because it wasn't slow and there's more battle scenes in the second one. I think the actors did a really good job in this movie compared to the other ones, but overall this movie could have been a lot better if they would have just cut some of the boring parts out of it. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, go see this movie. Last week's challenge was to get all the names from the box office movies and combine them into one super movie title. The winner was...
Hey, can I have one for Red Skyline, Colonel Due Date for Unstoppable Jackass, please?
I'd also like to mention B. Gessel, because he had a really good title. This week's challenge is I want you to make your own Harry Potter spell. Write down what it is in the comment section down below and tell me what it does. I'll feature my favorite one in the video next week. My name is Paul Thompson. That's been my movie experience. Stay tuned for next week.